Alright, this weekend is UFC Singapore. Max Holloway is going to be facing off against the Korean Zombie, two legends, two guys who have been in the sport for a long time. They're going to be facing off against each other. And yeah, this is a pretty decent card. I'm going to talk about a little bit about the co-main event between Anthony Smith and Ryan Spann, the most anticipated rematch in UFC history. Like last time I saw the fight, man, I was just like, man, I need more of this, man. I really need to see who is the better one of these fighters. I'm glad that, you know, guys, you guys know I'm kidding. I don't know why they made this rematch. It was not even that long ago. Like, I have no idea. Anthony Smith beat him in the first round last time, but we're going to talk about that later. Talia Santos also facing off against Erin Blanchfield. This card is insane, and I like it, man. You know, it's rare we get some good fight nights. This is definitely one of them. And yeah, it makes sense. You know, obviously this is in Singapore. This is in Asia. Obviously, that's why they have the Korean Zombie in there. Originally, they wanted to go to South Korea, I believe, in February, but that thing got canceled because, you know, the Korean Zombie got injured. And yeah, this is a matchup that a lot of people think, hey, is one-sided. Is it one-sided? I'm going to talk about it here, but before we get into it, I just want to remind you guys that the subscribe button, like, comment, and share. We're trying to hit 20K by the end of the year. You guys are the best fan base in MMA, so guys, please just hit the subscribe button and support the channel. Alright, when predicting this card, I'm going to go in chronological order. I want to start with Erin Blanchfield versus Talia Santos. Now, we haven't seen Talia Santos in a while. It's been a little over a year now. Last fought Valentina Shevchenko to a razor-close split decision. Some people even give it to Talia Santos. I think we got to give it to Valentina, but still, very close fight. Right, you know, Talia Santos had a lot of control, and then she did have a pretty bad orbital injury, and that could have been a factor why she lost rounds 4 and 5 in that fight. Overall, that's what the fight came down to, right? It was a 48-47 decision, so those rounds were super important. And yeah, so she definitely has skills, and she's facing off against Erin Blanchfield, who has impressed, you know, a lot of MMA fans. She last beat Jessica Andrade, which is a really impressive victory, and then before that beat Molly McCann inside a round. And this girl, I mean, the ground game is incredible from her, and her striking is improving. If you guys remember the Jessica Andrade fight, she landed a few good shots in there, and definitely, you know, show that she could hold her own. I think it's interesting, you know, both girls are good on the ground. However, I'm gonna go with Erin Blanchfield on this one. I think that she's going to be able to control Talia Santos. It just, I don't know, man. Maybe some of the striking from Talia Santos can give Erin Blanchfield some problems, but I think this is something she's really working on. I think she's going to come in as a new fighter. Momentum's on her side. Plus, Talia's been out for a long while. And since Grasso beat Shevchenko, you know, really Talia Santos' split decision loss isn't as impressive. Yeah, I just think I'm going to go with Erin Blanchfield. I think she's going to beat Talia Santos, but honestly, I could also see Talia Santos beating Erin Blanchfield. She is extremely high level, so I'm curious to see who's going to win that matchup. But the co-main event between Anthony Smith and Ryan Spann. Ryan Spann coming off a loss against Nikita Krylov. That fight was just a couple months ago. Anthony Smith coming off of a loss to Johnny Walker. A relatively quick turnaround for the guy. And the first fight didn't happen so long ago. This is a weird matchup. I'm not really sure why they're doing this. Like, I guess they just kind of ran out of matchups for the light heavyweight division. Like, they seriously need to sign some new light heavyweights because that division is dry. But I'm going to go with Anthony Smith. I think he's going to get it done. I think he's competent enough on the feet to get things done there, and he also has the wrestling advantage. Ryan Spann does have power. You know, obviously he did knock out Dominic Reyes, but at the same time, that is Dominic Reyes, who hasn't had the best of performances lately. So I guess you could maybe make an argument that maybe there's a power threat, but either way, guys, I mean, we've seen Anthony Smith endure a lot of shots. He is a tough guy, so I don't think you're going to be able to really put him out like that, and I just think overall he's a better fighter. I think, you know, he's going to win. I don't know how. I think this time maybe by decision. I think Ryan Spann can maybe protect himself against submission this time around. I'm going to go with Anthony Smith by decision on this one. I think he's just overall going to win. Maybe, you know, Ryan Spann could win around. My guess is 30-27 Anthony Smith. But I want to talk about the main event and what's going to take up most of this video between Max Holloway and the Korean Zombie. Now, this is a good main event, despite, honestly, the fight being clearly one-sided. I'm going to give out my prediction right away. I'm going with Max Holloway. I think you guys probably knew that going into this video. It sucks because, look, the Korean Zombie is a legend of the sport, and I would love to see him, you know, have a decent matchup, have a good matchup, an easier matchup, and maybe then retire, because this might be his retirement fight. Maybe even a Giga Chikadze, which I'm not sure who would win that matchup. I'm pretty sure Giga would, but that matchup is at least a little bit more fair. Like, Max Holloway, I mean, this is a massive opportunity for the Korean Zombie. And Max Holloway, you know, I don't want to say he's been regressing, but I think, in my opinion, like, he hasn't been as dominant now. Is this because of Max Holloway, or is this because the contenders are getting better? And granted, look, I'm not trying to take away anything from Max Holloway. He is still one of the highest level guys in the world right now. And I'm not at all trying to, you know, say that just because, you know, he's come up a little short or lost a round instead of winning all 5. What I am saying is, look, Arnold Allen was winning that 5th round up until he got knocked down. And he did give some different looks to Max Holloway, and then before that, he lost to Volk. And before that, he had a pretty close fight with Yair Rodriguez. So what I am trying to say, it seems like we're going to a decline with Max Holloway now. I think this really answers, is it because of the contenders, or is it because of him? I think it's because of the contenders. I think, look, we're just seeing younger guys that are training MMA more as MMA is evolving, and I think, you know, more harder guys are going to come up on the scene. So in my opinion, I don't think it's Max Holloway. He's still a relatively young guy. Yes, he's taken a lot of damage, and plus, I'm going to just address the obvious. The Korean Zombie has gotten hit so many times. Like, the guy gets hit a lot, even against Brian Ortega, man. And Brian Ortega isn't even like a striker like that. Like, he's not terrible, but he isn't like, you know, Max Holloway. So imagine what Max Holloway is going to do with him. You know what I mean? And I just think it's going to be a boxing match. He's going to really outbox the Korean Zombie, land a lot of combination, land a lot of shots. My prediction, I think he finishes him in the second round. I think he finishes him in round 2, end of round 2, maybe in the beginning of round 3. But I think this will be a good performance from Max Holloway. I think we're going to see him mix some stuff up, really try some new techniques, maybe show, hey, he's a different fighter. I think this is going to be a showcase for Max Holloway. And the thing is, what do you do with Max after that? You know, I have no idea. I think you should go to lightweight. I've been saying you should go to lightweight. And if the Korean Zombie wins this, does he even deserve a title shot? Let's be honest. We saw what happened with Volkanovski a little over a year ago. Like, are we really going to just have that fight happen again? Like, I don't know. It's not exactly the most marketable. Even if he beats Max Holloway, I can see that still not being the most marketable option, even though that would be a pretty shocking outcome. But we're going to find that out tomorrow. The fight is on at like 5 a.m. or 8 a.m. or something like that. So I'm going to be watching. I'm going to let you guys know tomorrow night or the next morning or so. I'll be back. I'll finally be back in New York City reacting to the news. There's probably some news I missed, but regardless, you know, guys, I had a lot of fun, I'm sure. You know, I'm hoping. I mean, this was recorded beforehand, but I'll see you guys tomorrow. I can't wait to be back. You know, I know I'm going to miss doing this. I know I'm going to miss y'all and, you know, miss, you know, covering the news and just doing this every day. You guys are the best fan base in MMA. Let me know what you guys think. Who is going to win tomorrow? What do you think the outcome is going to be? And I'll see you guys in the next one.